How are we all doing today? Happy day 2 of ClioCon. We're super excited to be here. So for those of you who don't know, Clio's mission is to transform the legal experience for all. And we're going to hear from 3 extremely impactful Reisman winners who are doing exactly that. Before we get started, I'd just like to tell you a little bit about the Reisman Awards, just in case you're not familiar. So the Reisman Awards are our annual customer recognition program where we really get to highlight the incredible work of our customers and what they're doing in the community. We've been offering this award since 2017, and since then we have awarded over 46 law firms in a number of different categories. Every year we receive hundreds of submissions and we read through every single one of them. So thank you for your very impactful submissions. So I really want to invite all of you to submit your applications for these awards so that you can really highlight the amazing work that your firms are doing. We want to honor your accomplishments and also showcase your firm's contributions. And we genuinely appreciate hearing about the meaningful work that you do every day. So just to introduce myself here, my name is Tasha. I am part of the Learning and Development team at Clio. And today, I really just get the honor to moderate this wonderful Reisman panel. And the purpose of today's panel is designed to spotlight 3 incredible winners, maybe you saw them last night already, from this year and how they're all going above and beyond for their communities. So let's just give them a huge warm welcome to our panelists today. I am very thrilled to introduce Taylor from the Legal Miga Law PC, and then also we have Yvonne here from Texas Fair Defense Project, and also Heather from O'Connor Family Law. Yeah, woohoo! We love that energy. Yeah, let's keep the energy going. So I'm gonna actually play the video again just to showcase and highlight what these firms have been doing. In case you were in the Reisman Award last night, this is the video that we played. But yeah, let's get to know these Reisman winners before we get into the questions. So first up, we have the Texas Fair Defense Project.
Justice is the one thing that makes everyone equal. All people, regardless of their income or their socioeconomic status or their race or their gender, are deserving of representation and should not be marginalized. Our firm's mission is to fight the criminalization of poverty. In Texas, if someone has a traffic ticket and they are not able to appear at their court appearance, or if they are not able to pay, the court can not only issue a warrant, there will be a hold on that person's license. If you don't have a license, that could impact your everyday, from taking your children to school. Being able to be gainfully employed, poverty is not a crime. That's why we do pro bono work. There is no fee for our services. And in time that you're trying to achieve justice, it is always going to be an uphill battle. You just have to continue to press on.
Amazing. So that's Yvonne. And then up next, we have O'Connor Family Law.
I came out of an abusive marriage. I had gotten married really, really young. We had 3 kids together. Through my divorce process, I saw a lot that was missing within the system. And I thought, I think I can do this better. My only problem is I had 3 kids under the age of 6, and all I had was a high school diploma. So what are you gonna do? I decided at that point, I'm gonna go back to school, and I'm gonna become an attorney, and I'm gonna change how divorce is done. For us, client service is everything. We have our empowerment coach who works with everybody to help them start building their post-litigation life. And so we don't charge anything for it, because the way that I see it, a legal result only gives you a piece of paper. The coaching is what changes your life. Before I decided to become an attorney, I had no money. And there were times that I was literally eating the crust from my Choppa's peanut butter jelly sandwiches. And to be able to know that I came from that, of times having to use food stamps, to where we are now, where our payroll is over $1 million a year. That is something to me that if I can do this, anybody can do this.
Thank you so much, Heather. And last but definitely not least, we have Legal Meagle Law PC.
America was built up with the success of immigrants, and we are so diverse. I want to live in a world where the legal profession actually looks like the demographics of this country. And that's why I created Legal Law. The current Latino population in the United States is around 19%, but only 5% of attorneys in the US are Latino, and around 2 to 3% of us are Latina. Our clients are first-gen business owners. They are Latina and Latino business owners, mostly female-owned businesses. Traditional law may not see them, may not be marketing to them. They are the clients that feel comfortable coming to us because of how we exist. Oftentimes, the reason a client can't work with us is just price, which is why I created the Legal Me, the Library. It's an educational platform for business owners to really get them access to a more affordable way to legally protect their businesses. Everybody deserves great legal protection, but when you're a community that historically has not had access to it, you deserve it even more.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Taylor. Okay, so I don't know about you, but those videos are so impactful, super inspiring people that we have here on our panel today. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just get into a little bit of a discussion, but we'd love to get some questions for all of you as well. So we'll spend a little bit of time having some discussions first, and then we'll open it up to the room. So let's do it. So first question here for all of you. I know that each of you have found, really powerful ways to use education as a form of service, whether just now we saw like through free resources, through clinics, or even sharing knowledge and your personal experiences. So how has that shaped the way that you build trust and relationships with your community and your clients? Maybe we'll go with Taylor first.
Yeah, I think the clients and communities that we work with, they have a distrust in the legal system in some layers even, and you really have to start with educating them first and making them feel comfortable. Not many of these people even understand how the law works or even feel comfortable hiring somebody to do that. So it really is baby steps, getting that trust with them. Then sometimes they're ready to hire us, sometimes they're not, but getting that core education is really important.
Thanks so much, Taylor. Yvonne, you want to go next?
Yeah, I would say that we really do believe in empowering people because the best advocate is going to be you. We are there to advocate for you, but no one's going to advocate better for you than you. But you need the tools in order to learn how to be able to advocate for yourself. And in the field that we help people out, it's primarily pro se. So they have probably already gone to court and not had a good experience. They didn't know the landscape of it. And the court is really not going to help you out. They're not going to really tell you all of your options. They're going to say you need to get a lawyer, but they're also indigent individuals and they can't afford a lawyer, and they are not able to get one appointed to them because the Sixth Amendment doesn't apply to them, because it's either going to be a civil infraction or it's going to be a low-level criminal offense where your life and liberty is not at stake. It's just a fine. So they don't know how to navigate the system, and they already come to us a little bit disheartened, but we believe in educating them and explaining to them, hey, this is why the situation is taking place. These are your legal options. Here's how you advocate. These are the documents that you need. We'll prepare them for you. And yes, even though you may now be going it with our assistance, or you're doing it pro se, if you have any questions, come back to us and we'll be able to navigate you through.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much. Yeah, so for us, we deal with divorce and custody. So it's a period of time in somebody's life where everything is changing. Everything that they knew is over, and they have to basically go and create something totally new. And what happens with the law is that you're so focused on those specific legal issues, custody, parenting time, support. And a lot of times what I saw is you were forgetting about the actual client who had to go through this and eventually move forward after the divorce when the lawyers are no longer in the picture and create a successful life. And the practice of law does not set somebody up for success.
And so one of the things that was really important to me when I founded my firm, and we were able to establish it, I think about 3 or 4 years ago, is we brought in a full-time empowerment coach. And this is somebody who is completely free to our clients that are utilizing our services. And this person helps really get the focus on where are you coming from and where do you want to go? And starts to change the perception, change the mindset, because that is what is going to make people very successful post-divorce.
Yeah, that's very powerful. And I think that's what people need, right? Because when they come to you, they're probably going through a challenging time in their life. And like you said, when you're not there to help them anymore, like Yvonne, you mentioned, you're going to have to advocate for yourself for the rest of your life after whatever is happening. So maybe can I just hear from from all of you here? Can you tell us a story where going that extra mile for someone, because that's exactly what we hear from the videos, and I'm sure you have other testimonials as well that you can tell us, beyond just the legal work, that made a deeper impact than even you anticipated, something that's really memorable that even changed your life, maybe. Anybody want to take that first?
I can start.
Yeah.
So we have a holistic representation approach. We understand that even though you come to us with a specific legal problem, you possibly have a whole lot more issues than just that legal problem. That the legal problem that you are having that we can help you with may be exacerbated by it's impacted. So we like to, even though we are only providing legal services, we still provide information and resources that can assist you. So for example, many people come to us because they have criminal records that they want to get cleared. They have this criminal record, it pops up on a background check, and as a result, they're not being able to be gainfully employed. Employers are looking at them and they're not going with them as candidates. So we help them get it off their record so it will pop up on a background check. So your legal issue is you have a criminal record that needs to be cleared, but the practical issue is you don't have a job and you're looking for employment. So we can help you clear that, but then we provide you with resources and information regarding different employment opportunities that are available to you. Some of our clients come to us and they may have issues regarding being able to provide food for their family. So we will set them up with food banks. We try to, in our power, provide people with the resources and the information to assist them in all those aspects that are impacting them. So we really truly believe that you have a lot of stuff that's going on, and that it can impact just your everyday. So if you're not able to feed your family or get a job, you're not really thinking about your legal case either. So we'll handle the legal part, but we'll also provide you with all of those resources so that you can have a whole recovery.
I'm sure your clients really, really appreciate that. Yeah, it's very thoughtful.
I think that I know that they do because they come back to us. And we, in the process, like I had a client, she had all of those things going on. So we were able to help her with her cases in Texas. She had some cases for tickets in Oklahoma that were impacting her license. She also was having trouble getting a job. She had some physical ailments that were preventing her from keeping a job. So we were able to kind of help her with getting information regarding jobs that are available. We also were able to go ahead and give her and her son winter coats because they didn't have those winter coats. We provided them with access to food bank information in her local area. And now we were able to resolve her cases in Texas. And because we gave her those tools on how to advocate for herself, she's now advocating for herself for her Oklahoma case.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. Thank you so much, Yvonne. Heather, share from you.
So the first story that I think of is really what led me to believe that coaching needed to be part of the legal process. And I had a man come in who had an attempted murder charge against him. He was so angry. And what had happened is he caught his wife cheating on him. And in response to that, walked into the bar and beat the boyfriend up with a hammer. He came to me and said, I need a divorce. I need help. But everything out of his mouth was, this is her fault. She did this. This is all on her. And I said, look, the facts are what they are. We can't change the past. But the only thing you can do at this point is take accountability for what you did. You did not need to pick up that hammer. You did not need to walk into the bar. You did not need to do what you did. And because you did what you did, you are now facing the consequences, which included a restraining order, which included not seeing the children. And in this period of time, the mom had really utilized that to her advantage and had started working the children against their father. So I said, look, I will represent you if you can promise me that you will not point another finger at her and that you will really dive into self-help, get a counselor, go through all the group training. And he said he would. And it was the first time, like I said, when he first started with me, he was volatile. Like she knew exactly how to push his buttons, how to get him to break. And he dove into therapy, and there were times he would call me. Now, we're charging hundreds, a lot more than a therapist, hundreds of dollars per hour. And he would be like, this is what I'm feeling. How should I deal with this? And I was like, might be cheaper to call your therapist than talk to me. And he said, no, I'm getting more out of you than I do my therapist, and I want to change. And it was that accountability and taking responsibility for his choices, where then we were in a settlement conference and we're sitting around a table, and she just starts in pushing those buttons, and I'm sitting there going, this could be bad, and he waited, and then he looked at me and he said, I think I need to take a quick break. He got up, he calmed down, we went back in, we continued. That was a turning point in this case, and there was a couple of things that happened, but we ended up going to trial, and we walked away. Now, he started with me, attempted murder, not seeing his children with a restraining order. We walked away. He had full custody of his children. Wow. He kept the house. She had to pay some of my attorney fees. And it was a result that I could sit here and say, oh, I'm such a good attorney. Like, we just won everything. But without him taking that accountability and really diving into how I change, that's what allowed us to get that result. And to me, that was so important. One, it made me look like a great attorney. So a little selfishly, it helps me get a better result when people are able to do that. But more importantly, this was a guy that I worked with almost 14 years ago. His kids are, off in college now, and we became friends. And following that life, the outcome could have been so different if he hadn't done that. And that's why we've built the firm the way that we have.
Yeah. Wow, what a powerful story. I guess, you inspired him, but then he had to do that work,
Exactly.
right? Yeah. Thanks, Heather. What about you, Taylor?
I was racking my brain thinking of all the cool client stories, but it's for me, it's sometimes the ones at the end of the day where it's the third or fourth consult, and it's a 10-minute consult, and I'm just exhausted and I'm ready to just answer questions. They may have one question, we have a quick conversation, and they're at the end of the consult, they're just thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh my gosh, I've never talked to a lawyer. I'm completely forgetting that this person is potentially their life is changing on the other side. And I think it's really easy to forget that as lawyers, that we have so much power to change somebody's life in 10 minutes, that those are really, for me, they're sometimes the most impactful because my brain's just checked out, but they're just overjoyed and so thankful. And that's times that you're okay, this is a cool job.
Oh, I really love that. Yeah, because I think when you're doing the work again and again, like you said, especially, we're human beings, we get tired, right? And is there any one in particular that really stands out to you, that they came back to you maybe, or you had a really great conversation, went from 10 to 30 minutes? I don't know if that happens.
Yeah, there's a lot. We have clients all the time that are just I've never talked to a lawyer. Thank you so much.
Wow.
They've been either doing a legal Zoom type of thing, or they've been researching for days and days on end, and they just can't figure it out. And they finally are ready to pay $50, $100 for a call. And it just is you can hear it in their voice. They're just completely just relieved.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I love that. It must be a good feeling. Yeah. Okay. Well, we have about, 10-ish minutes left. So I want to make sure that we get some of your questions in. So we're going to have a mic here come around. Maybe we can get the first question to this lady here in the middle of the room.
Where do you draw the limits? Because I think we all want to help people, but we're going crazy every day, trying to draft documents, court appearances and so forth. Do you have parameters on how long you talk to people and how much information you give them before they retain? I know you're a public defender, so even in that area, your time is precious.
So we're not a public defender, but we are an organization that does provide pro bono legal assistance. And one of the ways that we educate people the most is we do community clinics. And in the community clinic, we have Know Your Rights presentations. So a lot of times, there's a lot of waiting that's involved in the community clinics. You have people who are already engaged with attorneys who are working pro bono, and you have some that are just waiting for their next time. So we'll have a designated time period where we'll have our pro bono presentation, and we will explain the ins and outs of what we're doing. So for example, when we have our community clinic, where we do record clearing clinics, we will explain in the Know Your Rights presentation what the different types of record clearing are in Texas, what their eligibility requirements are, what documents you need, and also how to engage the court. So you already have that information during the Know Your Rights presentation, and then it gets reiterated when we're actually working with you. So that's the most common way that we do it. And then we just kind of build it into our individual clients. So we'll answer their questions. When we do our document drafting, we have to go ahead and explain the document to the client. We'll explain why we drafted what we drafted, what it means, and then we'll explain how we have to file it, where we have to file it, what the next steps are. So we kind of just have it built into our direct representation as well. So the Know Your Rights presentation will be a live presentation, but we also have recorded presentations where we put it on our website and we put it on our YouTube channel. So they're there available to anybody to come see it.
Yeah, and so my firm, we are not pro bono. We just started a pro bono division, but we are very for-profit. And so our goal is if somebody's working with an attorney, they're paying for that time. We're very protective of our attorney's time, because if they're working, or let's say if they're not working, or if somebody's expecting them to give away their time, I'd rather them spend that time with their family or doing what they want to do and not necessarily giving away their time unless that is their ultimate choice. So we actually have an entire sales team that works with people when they first call in. They are not attorneys. They're people that are trained really, really well, amazing sales department, on building that relationship very quickly and working with people to, one, see if it's a type of case that we'll take, two, if it falls into our ideal client, because we do not take everybody that calls us, and three, make sure that it's a good fit for everyone. So our website is designed to give a lot of education, because I'm also very aware, as it said in the video, I didn't come from money. I came from a time where I couldn't afford, paying hundreds of dollars per hour for an attorney to work with me. So part of everything within our values and our standards of how we set things up is how do we continue to give to the demographic that isn't necessarily our ideal client as a paid for-profit firm, where our email automations are based off of when somebody comes in, if they say that they're looking for a pro bono attorney, unless there's somebody that we're actually siphoning into that division at this point, we automatically send them free resources. So they might not necessarily make it into our lineup of actually talking to somebody, but they will get a lot of free resources. Our email automations are set up to give a ton of information. Same thing, our YouTube channel, our TikTok, our social media, it's all about education and providing information to people for two reasons. One, it helps them, and two, it helps us because it's developing a trust before they actually call us, which makes it much more likely for them to become a client. So those are some of the ways that we've done it, because for us, if they're speaking with an attorney, they're paying. We don't do free attorney consults.
Thank you. Taylor, anything to add?
Yeah, just to piggyback, we do very similar stuff. I mean, I'm thinking we have consults consult link. Right on the consult link, before they can even schedule, we lay out ballpark of what the pricing is going to look like, so we don't waste their time, they don't waste our time. If they can't afford that yet, we have links directly to recorded workshops so they can watch, see if they want to kind of tackle the process themselves. Maybe we do a lot of business trademark specifically. And then from that workshop, it kind of funnels down into, okay, are you ready to hire us yet? Are you still going to kind of do it on your own? I personally don't love being on the phone, so I really try and funnel people into the right place so that if they're booking a consult with us, they're pretty much already ready to hire and move forward.
Can I just say one more thing too? It's really important, and this is something we train our sales team with, is that even if somebody's calling you and they can't necessarily afford your services, that does not mean that they're not a good potential client, because you have to remember, they probably know other people in your community that maybe they can afford your services. So every single person calling in, regardless of whether they become a paying client or not, our belief is they get the same level of service. You know, I hear people talk about tire kickers and, all these people that aren't going to hire us. Those are people that can go out into the community and become your biggest fans by saying, look, I know I couldn't hire them, but they still helped me. They still pointed me in the right direction, or they listened to me. And sometimes that is you spend tons of money on SEO and online marketing. Sometimes that word of mouth, getting shout out in Facebook groups, can be your biggest referral source.
Love that. Thank you so much. Okay, so as we wrap up here, I wish the conversation could keep going. I'm sorry, there's only one question from the room, but maybe just to let everybody walk away with here. Like, if they want to really make a difference in their firms, in their communities, like, what's one applicable thing that you can advise them on? Something they can apply tomorrow to their law firm. Taylor, let's start with you.
I'm really big on education on social media. I think looking at where your clients are coming in and spending the most time there. I spent a lot of time trying to make a website really pretty, getting a lot of very cool stuff, AdWords, whatever. We get most of our referrals and people from social. So just spending the time and money where they're coming through.
I love that. So get your website ready, get an Instagram account or TikTok account, right? Yeah.
Want to dance on TikTok?
I agree with all of that wholeheartedly. But then also empathy, right? To be empathetic. Most times people just want to be heard because they feel like they haven't been heard. And if they actually have a listening ear, that's going to be helpful. And they feel like they have been helped. But I also think it will help you in your practice, because so often we just kind of see clients as just whatever it is that we're working on their case for, but they're whole human beings. And to be able to see them as a human being and not just as a client or as a defendant or whatever it is that you may do, I think can not only encourage them, but it can help your practice. And then also that can help with the word of mouth, because now they feel seen, they feel heard, they'll be more likely to refer you to other people.
100%. I think it's easy to try to figure out what your clients want. However, ask your clients. It's the best way to start. You can fill out a Google sheet or a Google form with 3 questions. One being, why'd you hire us in the first place? 2, what is something that we can do better? And 3, do you mind if we follow up and call you and talk about it? Then you're going to get actual real-time answers for the people that you're actually servicing, rather than looking on it at this overview of what you think they want. Find out what they want. It's the quickest and most efficient way to figure out those quick things that you can change that is actually going to make a difference.
I love that. What amazing advice. Thank you so much for this wonderful panel. I wish we had more time, so let's give them a wonderful round of applause again. So thank you, Taylor, Yvonne, and Heather, for your time. That concludes this panel session. Thank you all so much for coming. I'm sure that you'll be able to find these lovely people around as well if you have more questions, but enjoy the rest of the conference, everybody.